Okay, so this is a ranked match from a few weeks ago. Mid-mammoth, pretty standard, lucky guy, priestess, gravekeeper, painter. I believe the lucky guy just got locked in because he hadn't loaded. His game was lacking, so bit unfortunate, but you know, it happens. It wasn't AFK for the actual game, so you know, it's fine. But I find priestess first, really not too crazy about the prospect of chasing a priestess inside the hospital, but thankfully, you know, I can see the painter decoding right there, so I'm just going to try and get a hit on the priestess. My reflexes are too slow. Just going to try and, you know, switch targets as fast as I can. This is pretty good for me because there's 2 people in this area, now 3 because I brought the priestess there. So I'm able to just force these survivors off their ciphers and disrupt decoding pretty early on, which is good because the only person decoding right now is the Gravekeeper, and the Gravekeeper has the slowest decoding on this team. So really getting in the way of that early game cipher rush is looking good on my end. So Lucky Guy kind of takes me for a bit of a loop here, but I force him to use both of his items, as well as unlocking my first presence. So I'm not too worried. Also, the Painter and the Priestess were healing, which means that they weren't decoding either. So, you know, we're looking pretty good. And I'm just going to wait for my cooldown and wait for the Lucky Guy to line himself up in a way that I can see clearly with the Lethal Crash done. And yeah, so Cypher's already popped. That was the Gravekeeper Cypher. Painter Cypher's probably popping very soon. Yeah, at this point, it's... Right now I'm focused on sort of pressuring that Cypher, but I see the Gravekeeper out of the corner of my eye, and now I'm more worried about just delaying this rescue as long as possible. If it's after half, then that's the ideal. If it's not after half, I just want to, you know, keep that pressure on the chair. So I completely botched my Lethal Crash, which is fine at this point, because I'm still able to get that hit in on the Lucky Guy, and I know that he's definitely just heading straight for Shaq, which is good for me because it means that I can get the hit on the Gravekeeper, get myself to full presence, make sure that the Gravekeeper can't go in for a second rescue with that damage taken, and then just follow the trail that the Lucky Guy has left. And, which, yep, leads clear to Shaq, and the Priestess is also decoding here, so ideally, I can get that extra hit in on her as well, to give even less options for comfortable rescuing. Or even stop a rescue at all if they want to focus on healing. So, cheering the Lucky Guy here just to take him away from everywhere else. I see with Wanted Order that the Painter and the Gravekeeper were healing each other. I don't want that, so I immediately use my teleport. Not sure how that hit didn't connect, but yeah, it's no skin off my back. Priestess apparently didn't just turn right around and make a beeline for Lucky Guy's chair. Fine by me. But yep, he gets rescued here with Tide, which is good because it means they can't heal each other right away. Which is always a good thing. It does mean that they're going to be focusing on decoding, but it also means that when I inevitably teleport over there, they're going to have some problems. I probably should have just taken a hit on the Painter while he was still in the hospital, but I was kind of trying to block him off. Didn't work. But I did manage to get that Lethal Crash in, which means that he's afraid. I dodged the painting there because I knew he was going to place it, so I just moved my camera out of the way. It was too far away from the chair to really do anything. I can just tell that the Painter is very afraid of me. Definitely not used to going against a Luchino. I completely botched my crash there, but it was enough to just keep him on his toes, keep him away from the chair. I figured he's just going to place the painting and go for it. The painting doesn't get placed, so, you know. This is, I believe, Elks and Mammoths I was matched with, because I was in low Saber at the time, working on ranking myself back up after taking a break. So, yeah, I will admit that I am a little bit above the skill level of these survivors, but I was still, you know, I was trying something new with the teleport, trying to focus on building my map control, because that's something that's way more important to get a handle on, especially with a hunter like Luchino, who can't really do much until presence is unlocked. It's just really important to build these skills. So Yep, found the priestess, downed the priestess. I don't know really what that portal is supposed to do, but, you know, she tried. I teleported off the painter there because I knew that the lucky guy was probably going to take some time getting to the chair, but regardless, painter doesn't have a half chair mark. So whether the painter was rescued, you know, at 51% or not, that wasn't going to affect the chair time. As if he was rescued any time before that first chair took off, then he would still have a second chair. So I was just focused on disrupting the cipher progress and really just trying to keep the survivors on their toes so that they don't know what I'm going to do next. That was really my goal with this match. So I do feel bad for the painter, though, finally getting a painting in on me only to have the lucky guy shoot me out of it. And I do believe that painting stuns are longer than flare guns, so at least by a second. That was definitely, you know, it was just miscommunication, solo queue. I did hit the lucky guy's perfume there because I knew that he was very likely going to perfume back, which just meant that he wasn't going to make a beeline to the chair. A lot of survivors, you know, if they're perfumer mains, they'll probably go straight for the chair and not perfume back if I hit them at that distance away from the chair. If they're not perfumer mains, they're more likely to negate that damage. But that can be the make or break when you're trying to use a perfume at a chair. I do it a lot in duos. I love duo hunting. But anyway, right now it's just a matter of whether I can beat the priestess to the dungeon, especially if the dungeon has spawned near the shack. Which I'm hoping that it didn't, for my sake, because I do like getting 4-man kills in rank. But dungeon didn't spawn there. Able to lethal crash the down, and we are golden. GG's.